Hello. How is everyone today? Hopefully everyone's doing good. It's Saturday, which means basically what we've been doing. You know, we're just gonna basically do whatever we feel like. Last couple of times I've just been pulling up art, but like I've said before, we just do whatever we feel like on Saturdays. If anybody's got stuff to share, memes, videos, all that stuff, keep it clean. Keep it clean, but we'll be good. I'm gonna hop into the VIP access in case any friends or whatnot want to show up, or alternatively, I could, on a hypothetical standpoint, I could just, yeah, something's being very weird. Okay, that is weird. Anyway, what was I saying? Yeah, no, lost it. Totally lost it. Just gone like that. Ah, right. I was talking about getting into the VIP, but then I was also going to say, alternatively, wait a minute. Laurie is live. I just looked at my Discord and I noticed the purple icon next to Laurie, and I'm like, oh, that's interesting. I wonder if I could do something with that, considering the fact that, you know, this is a whatever stream. Let me take a look at something here. Oh, she is live. I have an opportunity to be a menace. Oh, I have an opportunity to be a menace. I have an opportunity to be a menace. Temptation. What do I do? but I have such a just itching temptation here. But the question is, what would I even do? I mean, I can pull up her stream and y'all can watch me mess with her in the chat, but that's not the most exciting thing. No. It'd be more exciting if I could get into a chat with Laurie. Let me see. Maybe she's in her channel under her chat somewhere. Let's see. No, she doesn't appear to be. Okay, no, that's the different channel. Let's see. I don't see her in her chat, but she sort of moderates things a little bit more specifically. She doesn't have like the whole group thing that I've got going with my channel. All right. I'm gonna just be the most direct and see if I can't steadily coerce her into being in a chat room. Let me switch channels so y'all can see what's going on. Not channels, but screens, scenes.
If anything, it might have like less of the chemicals that soda has to get its taste and everything. Yeah. I probably should just switch to Sprite, if anything. Yo, hi Astral. How are you doing? You live on my end. You're about to get live on my end in a second. Let me just I can do this. I'm smart. I can fix
is
this.
She going
I
to,
can do this.
Is she going to Paradox?
I know how to
are we going
put
to
you onto my screen. Let's see. Where the frick are you? Oh, there you are. Hold on, let's have. Oh, frick! I don't want to hear him.
This is gonna be funny.
I don't want to hear him. I don't want to hear him say anything, and then I'll hear myself saying something. It'll be terrible if I heard myself saying anything. So we're just gonna look at his pretty face and be like, "Yo, look at that! Look how pretty his face is. Look how adorable he looks. Look at it, a little smirk. Well, you know what? I feel like I need to pat his head. Where the frick is the pat thing? Where is it? Head pats. There it is. Aha! We did it. We got him. Hey, we got a head pat just for him.
Y'all want to see Laurie freak out?
Me? Is it blocking me?
You want to see something funny?
Get your frick away!
You want to see something funny?
Move? Thank you. I don't want him to block me. I want to be able to look at him. I want to see his beautiful face, but I also want to see my face on his screen. Like what is wrong with him? Anywho, why are we here? Are we here to suffer? Are you hearing my end of the stream? Is that why you're not talking? You know what? Goodbye. Good riddance. Good riddance. Goodbye. We're still on welcoming because we still haven't done our prayer. Anywho, I did not want to be flashed by 6 something. Did my brain really go there?
Is this Minecraft?
It's about to be. It's about to be.
All right.
I'm a calm person. You know, I don't. Immediately,
like, full of it. Calm person. She is no. She needs to. Man, if it weren't for the fact that I don't have complete access to hop into a chat with her at some capacity, I would just. Hi, Jemkin. All right, let's check the Discord see if anybody has had anything to share recent. Nothing crazy. Draco sent something from, I believe it was last Saturday. Well, I suppose while we're waiting for people to pop in, I'll pull up a piece of art to work on. Hopefully I can get it finished. Oh, I am curious as to what people think of have thought of the daily doodles so far. I've been having a lot of fun with that. Yay, art. It be what it be. You already know I like the doodles. Well, I know you like the doodles, but you have a bit of a bias. I need to, more doodles, please. I do one each day. So it's a little stuffy in this room. I'm gonna go turn my air conditioner on. I will be right back. Okay. Hopefully it doesn't get too chilly in here now. That's always the problem with, like, my air conditioner. It does not have a very good thermometer in it. It either says, it's too hot in here, or it says, it's too cold in here, and it never knows how to find the right temperature and stay at that point. It just sort of goes, I'll figure it out, type of deal. Also, by the way, for people who are in fact wondering, because I'm imagining that there are at least a couple of people questioning this, my voice probably sounds a little bassier than usual. Hey, Egg. What's up, Astral and everyone? Hello. So yeah, my voice probably sounds a little bit bassier than it would usually. For people who have been here longer, you'll recognize it, but for people who haven't, they're probably a bit like, whoa, hey, what's with the dulcet tones? Here's why. I got up from a nap about an hour ago, and for anybody who's been in my streams long enough, they already know that when Astral wakes up, excuse me. When Astral wakes up from a nap or a long slumber, his voice is very, how one might put, deep. Part of the fun part, I guess. When I'm relaxed, when I am like totally relaxed, my voice just gets like this. As I get a little bit more on in the night or so and so, depending on how, excitable or so and such that I get, I will be more or less just deep voice for a bit. Alright, it's gonna take me a second to get the art stuff up, because I wasn't immediately going to go and do this just yet. I was going to see if we would do anything else before we immediately jump to art, but here we are. Suppose I can go ahead and get the main thing I'm going to probably work on, because it's almost finished, so I might as well go ahead and just get to it. Right, that'll do. So I'm going to just move to here. Hopefully all of my screens and stuff are working. One last thing. There we go. So I'm gonna just casually work on this while also looking at chat and whatnot. That is a baby. This is a individual who I should have had this done a long time ago, but I have been very procrastinative about the whole thing. Mostly just because I've been overwhelmed by a bunch of various things. But we're not here to talk about that. We're here to just handle things. Now then, let's see. I believe it was this one. Let's see. Yeah, that's the right one. Okay, did I get all of the spots on the hair? I did. Okay. I'm going to just touch up on the horns. The antlers? I'm gonna go with horns for now. Hello, owl. Oh wait, I actually should, do I have the base outline? Huh, I didn't do an outline base. That is unusual for me. Hang on. There, now I just invert that. And slap down base. There we go. Okay, thought there was a little... Right. Let's see. There is, so there's some loose shading that I need to kind of clean up in some areas. I do like it when things have a face. Did I miss something there? I feel like I missed something there. Like, I feel like there was a state that was out supposed to be spoken between that, and it wasn't. I like when faces have cookies. Okay, if you're just gonna say nonsense, I'm not gonna read it. I'm not exactly down for reading gibberish nonsense just because it would placate someone else. Not really my style. You're gonna say something that you actually mean and not something that's intended to confuse me. I am an individual that does not like that sort of thing. I don't care for people intentionally trying to confuse me like that. It's one thing to, like, trick me. That's one thing. Like, it's one thing to be like, hey, I got you to say this dumb little thing because you didn't expect it. And it's another thing to just say random things just to throw me off. I don't like that. Never really did. Of course, also, people really shouldn't take me so seriously either. I have a voice that makes it seem like I'm more serious than I actually am a lot of the time. When I get serious, it's very evident. But I think a lot of people think when I'm talking, I am being very serious. But I'm not most of the time. Most of the time, I'm just I'm just rolling with stuff. The serious meter goes down when Blossom's around, especially. Well, yeah, because Blossom's a little gremlin that likes to just cause havoc. It's kind of hard to be serious around someone like that. But also the general fact is that I'm about the same level of seriousness when Blossom is or isn't here. I just tend to always have a very serious sounding voice. Especially when I'm just waking up. When I'm just waking up, that's when my voice is like, oh. I remember Lamb hearing my voice. And he was just... Lamb would hear my voice and be like, man, you got a voice like you're from an anime. And I go, I'm gonna take that as a compliment. And then when he saw my actual face, because I showed him a photo at one point, because in our friend group at this point, most people tend to know what each other look like or such. And with Lamb, it was the funniest thing, because when he saw my voice, he goes, oh, you're just a normal looking guy. And I'm like, yeah, what were you expecting? He goes, I don't know, I just, like, I hear your voice, and I thought you'd look a little different. And I'm just like, you do realize, like, most voice actors are just normal people, right? And he's like, yeah, I know, but it's just weird. Anime protagonist, not antagonist. I am the antagonist. Not much questioning on that one. I am more or less the antagonist of most stories. Which is kind of ironic, because they do play the protagonist of a fan game. I got to do some voice lines as the male protagonist thing for a Pokemon fan game, so that's interesting. You are the antagonist in your own story. That is actually true. What can I say? It's more fun to be the antagonist. Not necessarily the villain. But it is more fun to be the antagonist sometimes. You are the Seto Kaiba. If I knew any lines from Yu-Gi-Oh, this is where I would drop them. But I don't know any lines from Yu-Gi-Oh, really. I didn't watch Yu-Gi-Oh a lot. Like, I don't think I could say I even watched it. I think maybe I saw an episode of Yu-Gi-Oh once. Maybe. I don't know. Yu-Gi-Oh was one of those things that I remember being very popular in my school, but I wasn't really into it. What about the abridged series? Didn't watch that either. Dragon Ball Abridged? I did watch that. I did watch Dragon Ball Z Abridged. It was one of the things I enjoyed quite a bit in high school. I had a lot of fun with that series in high school. I also got into Team 4 Stars Hellsing Abridged as well. By the way, if anyone has any videos or whatnot, like if you're in the Discord, you can certainly go and post that. I would love to see some videos from you guys. If keep it clean. Keep it clean. I'm certain Chimkin has to have some kind of funny ha-has going on with some stuff. Chimkin seems like the kind of person that has a bunch of funny videos in the back pocket. Who, me? Yes, you. That is indeed correct. I was speaking of you. Put a video in the Discord. If you have something you want to share that you think would be funny for me to react to, then yes. Key point being is just don't share something that you don't think you would want me to react to in some capacity or that you don't think would be fun. If you're just gonna put, don't just put one down for peer pressure's sake. I just did. It's funny. All right. Once we're finished with this, we'll go ahead and give it a watch. We want to get like a good collection of videos going up because it's one of those things. YouTube shorts, videos, things of that like. Something for me to stim to, I suppose. Hmm. Every time I pull up art, nobody talks. Like if I'm just sitting, it's so funny to me. I will be just sitting quietly, like in my main chat room, and I'll get people chatting. But if I start drawing, the moment I start drawing, people stop talking. Even if I encourage, like I encourage people to talk when I'm drawing, but nope. People just when the stylus comes out, everyone stops talking. I don't get it. It's not like I'm not responsive entirely. Like I might be a little slow, but I'm not totally unresponsive, guys. Come on. Is there a cultural reason there are so many abridged anime? I wouldn't call it much of a general culture as much as a internet culture factor. Back in like the early 2010s, 2000s. Yeah, around the early 2010s, there was this very popular thing going about where people would just do little dub overs in little comedy skits of their favorite shows to kind of just like poke fun at like dubs in specific, like with anime, and how dubs can be so varied and have a lot of drastic differences compared to how the original intent of the show was meant to be written out. So a lot of the cases, a bridge series was more or less just, as the name would, suggest, an abridged version of like what the show was like. But that eventually sort of evolved on the internet to be more of its own thing, where instead of giving a quick summary of what was going on with in a show in like its most straightforward and simplified manner, obviously not part of the show itself, but more so just a quick rundown of what that was supposed to be, it eventually evolved into just a sort of fan retelling of a story, but instead of it being a total retelling of a story, it was more of a fan interpretation of a story. And then that sort of evolved more into basically at that point completely fan fiction, but in a more lighthearted tonal sense, where it was like, yeah, we're not here to replace the show in any capacity, we're just here to sort of tell our version of the story and stuff. We're going to basically be using this as a sort of jumping board to do our own little bits of writing and whatnot for fun. That was sort of how it was originally, intended. In a general sense, abridging was something that existed long before like the internet sort of came by, because the idea of what it meant to abridge something was meant to just shorten down and simplify the broad strokes of a story or such. Like a good example would be, say, someone wanted to know like the story of To Kill a Mockingbird, and they go, just give me the abridged version, and basically it would summarize all of the broad strokes down into just a few sentences. Like the whole court scene thing that happens in that film or book or whichever version of it you're consuming as a medium, the general idea of it was just you gave them the broad strokes and the basic meaning of what was going on, as opposed to anything that was actual storytelling, so to speak. The idea would be that you would tell it like a story, but it would be a very simplified version of it. And then, internet culture and whatnot sort of shifted that around to be more, I suppose, have more leeway. It's one of those things that sort of grew into its own thing after enough time. So yeah, I wouldn't call it much of a literal cultural reason as much as a internet cultural reason. Similar to like how Flash games used to be. Flash games and animated Flash videos were huge back in the day. And that sort of evolved into actual animation projects as that goes on. Internet culture really is an interesting thing. I can't exactly call internet culture an actual culture in a weird sense. It's more so just a simplification to describe it as what in its own right. It kind of is a culture, but not really. It would be more like accurate to describe it as a set of unstated rules as opposed to a culture. Because a culture is a collective group of people that are actively, part of a societal factor, but that's not what internet culture is. Internet culture more broadly just describes the current state of the internet at large and the general zeitgeist that falls under. In to simplify that down to something actually that makes, proper sense, you can think of it like internet culture is basically just what is the most popular thing going on at the time. Like a good example is in the early 2010s, Flash games were kind of the big hit at the time. Flash games, indie horrors, and YouTube gaming channels. Those were very, very popular in like 2010 era YouTube and internet. And then you go with about 10 years after, give or take, around 2017 to 2020. Big thing there that was going on was more or less just competitive gaming industries. You would see a lot in the competitive gaming industry going on at the time, and that sort of led to a more or less toxic behavior with people. And then you have the modern times where it's the generative AI stuff. And it is probably, in my opinion, the worst the internet's been at its current state, because now it's less about passion and it's less about passion and getting yourself out there, and more about literally just trying to pedal to the algorithms and whatnot to try and get oneself popular and experience like a few seconds of fame. And that's usually where we're at right now. It kind of sucks, honestly. Like, if I had started doing YouTube and Twitch and stuff, like, I started in around 2021, and I only really started like properly buckling down on it in around 2023. But if I had started literally just about, give or take, 2, maybe 3 years earlier, I would have seen a much higher amount of substantial growth due to the fact that online community stuff was much more available, so to speak, because there was less of a intrigue on trying to pedal to the algorithm systems and whatnot, and more about just building a little community that was your own. But now it's like totally competitive, which is a shame because it means that the passion of the small creators can't grow as much as they used to because, well, now you have to placate to the system at hand. And that's not something I'm very good at. I know people who are more naturally talented towards that sort of thing. I am not. I am not very talented towards such things. Specifically with the energy vibe that you kind of need to get. I would like to be more high energy, but... And I used to be a little more high energy. I used to have a lot more energy for this sort of thing, but... Nowadays my energy is a lot lower. Mostly just because... Well, I won't go into that. I don't think anyone wants to hear that. And it's not something I think I should even get into. But rather than leaving everyone hanging out, at least say this. It's not something unpleasant. It's just something dull. Very dull. And doesn't go to a positive mindset, which is kind of what I want to keep here. I want to at least keep some level of a positive mindset. I do feel like I often get to drift off. I drift too far off into a non-positive mindset, and I need to kind of remind myself to, you know, stay in the positive. Because you drift too far off into the negatives and you get a little... Yeesh. I do that quite a bit, actually. It's not very healthy. There you go, several videos on the Discord. Cool. We'll give those a look later. Some Bahan down my road. You know, the reason I live in the hills is so that I don't have to put up with that crap. Some days, there are just rude people that... I can't even call it rude, because the fact is like, it's the middle of nowhere. But, like, come on, it's 6 in the evening for me right now. Actually, it's almost 7 in the evening. Can you not find a better time to just, you know, go dirt biking or something? People love to go, like, dirt biking and, like, go on their four-wheelers and all that junk in the hills. Like, when you live in the hills, you'll get a lot of people like that. Bikers, dirt bikers and the like are usually what you would tend to see. So when you live in the hills, that tends to be the case. It doesn't matter what kind of hilly terrain you live in. If you live in like a hill-ish zone or even like a low hill zone, you'll always find someone on a bike or a motorbike or dirt bike or something. Heck, you'll find people on buggies, like just something that's like off-road and will hop across things very like easily, like it'll bounce very easily on the road. And it's fine. The problem with it is that most people who, you know, live in the hills don't want to put up with it, because like the whole reason why they live in the hills is to not deal with loud noises. And also, just to throw this in there as well, I love to live out in the middle of nowhere. It's nice. I won't be real. I like it. Sure, you trade off a lot of conveniences. Like, I can't just order, like, I can't just like order a pizza and get it delivered. I have to go and get it myself. You gotta do a lot of general stuff yourself, but that's honestly not anything that you can't adapt to. You lose a lot of general conveniences, but honestly, I think those little conveniences are worth trading off for the quiet that it brings. Because for the most part, I don't like that situation where someone's just going like bahaing down the road right there. That's a rare circumstance. It does not happen very often. Like, it happens enough that you can get to recognize it, but it happens so rarely that you'll only complain about it like once, maybe every 2 weeks. In the summertime. In the winter or autumn time, you rarely hear anything of it because people don't usually want to go bahan in the cold. Because people don't like the cold, for the most part. When it's really hot, that's when you can sort of expect more activity. Like the summertime, spring and summer is where you're really gonna see a lot of like bike and dirt bike activity sort of spring up, because that's when people like to, you know, ride on their bikes and whatnot. And the reason for that is, I feel like I don't need to explain it, but just for the simplicity's sake of people who don't know, the reason why it's more why it happens more in the summertime and in the heat is because, well, when it's hot and you're on an open bike where it's just you and the bike and there's no like air conditioning or anything like that, it's people like to just have the wind blowing by. The rush of moving fast is what's going to cool you down. So not only do you get like an adrenaline high from, you know, moving real fast on a bike, you also get the cool air that breezes by you from, you know, moving real fast. That's just the general flow of things. I've not been much of a bike person myself. I liked them when I was younger, but not enough to really get into them. Like, I thought they were neat. I remember being interested in it a little bit more when I was younger, but not to the degree that I think most of my other peers were. Like, a bunch of my other, like, high school mates and whatnot, they were way more into like dirt bikes and motorbikes and trucks and things of that nature, but I was more into story writing. I was more into art and expressionism kind of stuff. I liked that sort of thing a lot more, and most others in my classes and whatnot didn't care for those sorts of things. Well, it's not that they didn't care for them, so to speak. It's more that they didn't have a passion for it, so they didn't invest a lot of interest to it. Similarly, like how I didn't really invest a lot of interest in bikes. Like, I thought they were neat, and that's about where my thought process for it ended. Is I said, that's neat, and that's about where I stopped caring. Not that I didn't dislike it, or it's not that I disliked it or anything. I just didn't care for it as much as most of my other peers. I always feel like we get to a state where it's like someone's just like, well, if you don't like this thing, obviously you must hate it. And I'm just like, that makes no sense. Just because I don't like a thing doesn't mean I hate a thing. It just means I don't like it. Especially with how the internet is these days. The internet is so freaking... People on the internet these days are so freaking volatile, where it's just like, if you don't like this thing, then you obviously have to hate it. And it's like, you know, you can just not like something, right? Just because you don't like something doesn't mean you actively hate a thing. You can just not like something. But no, That's not how the internet operates these days. It's either you like something or you hate something. You can't have any sort of nuance these days. I'd like to bring that back, you know? I think we should bring back the nuance time where it's like you could just choose to not like a thing and people were like, okay, and then left you alone about it rather than constantly shoving it in your face all the time and then being weirdly angry when you decide, hey, I don't care about this thing, please stop, and then getting awkwardly offended by it, being like, oh, well, obviously you must hate it. It's like, you're about to make me hate it because you keep shoving it in my face because I don't want this thing shoved in my face. You get all sorts of fun stuff like that. Those who are not with me are against me. Yeah, that's the mentality that's just wrong. I'm very against that mentality. I hate that this is... I don't like... I hate that that is the mentality of the internet these days, because it used to be where you could just not like a thing and then people just didn't bother you. It was just like, okay, and then they just stopped bothering you. They didn't interact with you. They didn't try to, like, pull you over to their line of reasoning or anything like that. They didn't, like, they just left you alone. It's like, you don't like this thing? Okay, we'll leave you alone. And that's way better. But that's not what it's like, because the internet this day is absolutely attention hungry, and they can't stand the concept of someone disliking a thing that they like. Especially with criticism. My goodness, the criticism on the internet now is awful because it doesn't freaking exist anymore. Criticism is not a thing on the internet anymore, because the way criticism works now on the internet is calling the other person an idiot for not enjoying a certain thing or not understanding something, and just being a generally foul person because someone doesn't like something you like, or because something in that thing you like goes in a different direction than what you wanted it to go into. People are so volatile with the things they like these days. It's genuinely sad. Like, not even sickening, just sad. People are so angry. Why so angry? Because they want the attention. That's really what it is people are told that they need to get others' attentions at all costs in order to be seen anymore. And now everyone is so hungry for attention, so hungry to be validated in that's the only thing they care about. Or at least that's how I've come to recognize it from my own observation. I've not been given any, like, other means to see a difference. I would like to see something that's different. I would like to be proven wrong in that case, but it's the only thing I can see. When you see a bunch of people get so gung-ho over something that doesn't matter because to them they've made it matter more than it actually should. Like, an example would be, like, there were old stories, like, way back in, like, 1990. Like, you had old stories way back in, like, the 1950s to the 1990s about how people shouldn't obsess over things that are not, like, you know, that are supposed to be just for fun. That you shouldn't be so obsessive over things because it can literally ruin your mindset. I remember there was this literal one story. I don't know what the story is called, but it was like a dark psychological horror story about how there was this fan of a book, and she got to meet the author of the book, but then she started, like, taking care of the guy. Misery? Maybe that's what it's called. It's like the fan of an author gets the author basically in her house, starts trying to help him because he's like sick or injured or something. But as like he writes his book and it goes in a direction that she doesn't like, she actively starts hurting him in very horrible ways. I haven't seen of it, but I know of it. But yeah, and it's sort of meant to be a story that's like cautionary, where it's like, this is the kind of person that you become if you are obsessive over something that in its most literal sense isn't real. Like, she was totally obsessed over a story, and that's the key thing. She was obsessed over a story, not anything of actual substance. Like, it wasn't like it literally impacted her life in any direct sense. It only was as important as she let it be to herself. At any point, she could have just been like, oh man, I don't like how this has gone, but it's not my story to tell. But that's not how it was looked upon. From the perspective of someone who is obsessive over such a thing, it's not a matter of whether or not the story of recognizing the reality of the situation, but rather to placate one's own mental fantasy of a situation. For her, that was her story, and if it didn't go the way she wanted it, then it stopped being her story, and that left her angry. And when you are given like the most modicum of some level of power over that story, you're going to take what measures you can to go over it. That's the kind of mindset that you have with that type of person. And unfortunately these days, everyone is that type of person, because you have so many people saying the most horrible stuff to creatives online in the most genuinely terrifying ways possible. Like, I'm not going to go to the detail levels of it, but I feel like most people know what I'm talking about when I say that. There are some people out there that are just genuinely malicious because they're so bought into this concept that, well, it does also come from the true anonymity that is like being online. When no one knows who you are, you kind of get that. There is a sort of mental faculty that comes into play. It's, well, if this person doesn't know who I am, then I am totally safe and can say whatever I want free of consequence. That's sort of the main thing that's a problem. Is I feel like one of the big problems with the development of the online culture in general, if you want to even call it a culture, is the fact that we've sort of created this environment where consequences are a secondary point that usually don't come up, because we have so many safeguards at play to protect people that it ultimately gives people a weapon to hurt one another. In an ironic sense, you give people enough defenses to protect themselves, and ultimately they can use those defenses to hurt other people. Because while other people will play by they'll be sensible and play by like how things are going to go, harassers are not. Harassers will use everything they can to make another person's life miserable if they think it will just amuse them. And that's the part that's really sad, is like, it's not a matter of any actual thing. It's not even about finding the truth anymore, because it's more about being right more than it is about finding a truth. An example I could point to is like this concept where these days fan theories are less about actually theorizing about hypotheticals in storytelling, and more about coming up with literal ways the direction of the plot of the story will go, and that in turn, when that turns out to be wrong, they get actively angry about it, because it's like, well, how could you do that? I had this fantastic idea for how this should go. It should have gone this way, when it wasn't their story to tell. And it becomes less about, having fun or understanding or trying to decipher meaning, and more just about being right. That's all people seem to, like, these days care about, is not about having fun or enjoying something as a medium that it is. It's more about coming up with an idea and then being right. And one of the things that I kind of see as evidence to people being more focused on being right as opposed to as opposed to being truthful is there's a phrase that I've seen get picked up, and I see it in different variations all the time, and I don't like this turn of phrase at all because it encourages the mindset of I would rather be right as opposed to anything else. And it's this it's a phrase that talks about where someone says something and then later finds out or has a moment of revelation where it's like, oh, I wasn't correct. Oh, that thing I said isn't true. And it's not that it's not that they were lying. It's that they were just forgot what the information that was provided to them, or they learned something later down or something of that sort. So they'll later learn, oh, I was that thing I said that was proven false. They would much rather say the phrases like, oh, I'm sorry, I tell a lie. But that wasn't the case at all. You didn't lie. Now you did. After you just said, I tell a lie, that was a lie. But the thing you said earlier wasn't. You were truthful in that. You were just wrong. But that's the problem. People would much rather be seen as speaking a lie than being wrong. And I think that's terrible. I think that's a very terrible mindset to have someone's minds be in, because people would rather be right or be perceived as speaking correctly or being right, as opposed to being seen as speaking incorrectly. And I think that's a terrible mindset, that people would rather be seen as liars as opposed to being seen as being wrong. Especially when, you know, one of the key things to improving oneself is to admitting that you're wrong, which is why I think most people that are like this, that would rather be seen as a liar over as, you know, being seen as wrong, are not good at self-improvement. Like, any person that would rather be seen as a liar as opposed to being seen as wrong is not going to be capable of, you know, proper self-improvement, because they're actively numbing their mindset. Because when you tell yourself this type of thing, when you convince yourself that, oh, I was just telling a lie as opposed to being wrong, you don't have that mindset to say, I was incorrect on what I said. I should take measures to improve so that I am not incorrect further. It's a very key mindset to recognize, that you need to recognize that you're not right in something. You have to admit to being wrong in order to improve. But that's not the mindset we have anymore. The mindset is always, these days, about being right. And that's, ironically, what leads most people to just being wrong, or in a worst case scenario, being downright malicious in that statement. Yes, nothing wrong with being wrong. Exactly. Like, one of the things that makes children, young children, improve so much is that their parents correct them for wrong behavior. That's supposed to be a key thing, but that doesn't happen these days anymore. Most people don't think of that process. Like, you don't see that as much anymore, that sense of correcting wrong behavior anymore, because there's this idea that there is no wrong behavior. And I think that's dumb. I think it's dumb to say that there is no wrong behavior, especially with children. Children often have wrong behavior, and they need that correction. That's what a parent's job is supposed to be. It's to correct wrong behavior from their children. But we don't get that much anymore, because most people are discouraged from doing so because they don't know how to correct wrong behavior. And they also, because they've entered a mindset that says wrong behavior doesn't exist, then you ultimately have just sort of doomed that situation. But I suppose I'm getting in a more philosophical manner. But, well. the mindset I get into when I'm doing art. But in any case, yeah. If there's one thing I encourage my community about, especially, is to let yourself be wrong at times. Like, admit to being wrong, because that's how you become better. If you don't admit to your wrongs, you can never improve on those qualities within yourself. If you ignore any time you're wrong about something and just chalk it up to just, oh, I wasn't wrong, I just was telling a lie, then you're ultimately just kind of dooming yourself to that type of situation. In the most literal sense, when you do that, you do in fact just doom yourself to that kind of an outcome where it's literally just, hey, I am not in the correct mindset, but that's fine because at least I was right. I wasn't wrong. And that's the problem. At least that's how I see the problem. I think if more people admitted to being wrong, we would have a lot less anger in communities and whatnot. Maybe I'm always wrong. At least you admit to it. Like, that's the key thing. Admitting to it at least puts you one step to being in the right. Admitting to being wrong is, in one aspect or another, a positive thing because it puts you one step closer to being in the right, to be corrected. I'm smarter when Astral talks. That's one of the advantages of being the quiet man. In the most ironic sense possible, when you're the person that's always quiet and just observing everything, you tend to come away with a lot more than what you would expect. It's amazing how being quiet gets you so much in terms of, like, information. I think it's like people feel a compulsory need to talk to the quiet person. I'm not sure why. In my experience, I've noticed a lot of people talk to me whenever I'm in the room, or they talk enough to where, like, I'll be, or not even to me, like, I'll be present and they'll be talking and they won't mind my presence. Like, it's very strange to me that what people will be comfortable speaking of near me just because I'm quiet. It's almost fascinating in a way how being the quiet one is something that people tend to gravitate towards in weird ways. At least in my experience, I've always, like, in the strangest way, I say gravitate towards. It's not necessarily that people, go to me to talk to me a bunch, but more so that when I actually go and speak to them, just say hello and just let them talk. I think that's what makes them feel more more compulsory to speak, is because when you're quiet, when you don't talk very often, and you engage with somebody and just let them talk, they will just keep talking. Especially because I'm usually the type of person, at least when it's face-to-face conversation, that just stays quiet and listens. I very often just listen to what people say as opposed to say anything. Now, there are times where I will definitely talk, where I will get very engaged in something and start speaking, but it's a lot rarer than what one might think. I'm usually very quiet, especially in real life circumstances. I'm very, very quiet when it comes to IRL conversations. In Discord calls, I'm a little bit more chatty. I think the reason for that is because I'm more or less wanting to make sure my presence is still there. And when you're only a voice, I guess, you're just there well, I should probably talk now, otherwise I might get forgotten in the conversation. But even then, I started to develop more of a quiet sort of statement. It's one of the reasons why whenever I'm streaming and I've got another person in call, why I usually just let them talk, as opposed to, me actually talking myself. It's a very weird thing, honestly. I have the opposite effect when Blue talks. When you're not talking, you're listening. Yeah, I'm awkward in person. There's also the fact that I also just tend to not know how to respond to most general input. I feel like this lullaby song has been going on for much longer than I expected it to. I thought there would be others. It's so calming. Yeah, but it was a little monotonous. Hmm. Alright. Let's see if I can get this detail. What What is usually the opacity of the color layer when you use grayscale shading? I don't know. I just kind of go by feel. I know that's not very helpful, but genuinely, that's just how I handle it. Enjoying the art, youngling. Blossom, you're older than me by a few days. Don't act like you're that incredible. You're such a baby. Who's the one that cried like a wimp when I took her yarn balls away? But hi, Blossom, are you still streaming? I don't see an active blue stream. Alright, then she's probably chilled out for the day. I didn't stream today. Then what are you doing not being in the chat room with me? I'm watching my weekly One Piece with Goodish. That sounds like a weird excuse. Alright, it's official. Blossom no longer wants to hang out with her baby brother. I guess that's how it goes. I guess Blossom wants me to revoke her baby the baby brother title. Poor Astral. Yeah, I know. It's sad. It was a long time coming, though. Blossom's always been a little, he'd be what it be like, you know. Alright. The little sheep makes me think of Chopper. It kind of do. It kind of do, yeah. Love just Blossom just like, bruh. Nope, sorry. You've decided that nope. You've decided nope, no more baby brother. I am just Astral to you now. Just no more baby brother. That's how it is. You that was your choice. You made your decision. Luce betrayed you. Yep, I'm used to it. right. And lastly, is it not getting masked? That's very odd. Huh. The mask must have come undone at some point and I didn't realize it. Well, alright then. And I think I just need a little backdrop. Give it a little more pop. Smooth out those edges a little more. Ah, crap. All right, let's see. How does that look? I think that looks all right. Okay. All right, we'll take this and deliver it over soon. Now then, let's take a look at some of those videos that Chimkin sent over. Alright, Chimkin, let's see what you sent. You told Blue's chopper is better than Law. Alright. I have no strong opinions on that, honestly. Hey, bro, nice to see you. Nice to see you. Nice to see you live. I'll be lurking. Well, thank you for the lurk, Creepy. She just yelled no. Yeah, but that's Blossom. She freaks out. She freaks out over every little thing. Blossom could be told that her flippin'... I don't know. She could be told that she microwaved her Pop-Tart for like 2 seconds too long or something like that, and then just like got a slightly different flavor, and that would devastate her. All right, let's see what you got. We got something from Pal World. Unstoppable Chickpea. All right. So we got a fully animated segment, which is nice. Gotta say, this animated segment looks better than the actual game. Neat. All right, let's see. I'm not pulling that one up. I'm not pulling up the Toad singing of My Way for a few reasons. One, because it's a song, and two, because I respect my ears. I don't want to. I would rather not listen to that. I've seen this, Jimkin. I have seen this video.
Watch my bird for me.
The way that bird walked up, the way that little guy walked up, he was like, "Do you got any games on your phone?" Like that's the type of walk that bird had. It was just like, "Hey, you got any games on your phone?" Just oh.
Can you watch my bird for me?
Can you
Fast little tippy taps, yeah.
stop? It's gross. Arrgh. Okay, itchy nose.
The little hops, the little tippy tappies and the little hops that birds do is so cute. He's stimming. He's stimming.
And down.
I love that he hits this little guy hits the pose right at the end there. And can someone get like a professional here? For some reason my spray bottle isn't working. Infinite Riz. Pose. Infinite Riz. Birds actually can't fart. Someone made the fart noise. I'm aware of that. Who needs an alarm clock when you have a bird?
6, 7.
Is there?
Get out of my room!
All right.
Can you watch my bird for
Cute. Very cute. As birds tend to be. We got a Doobus Goobus video. Let's see what we got here. Hopefully it's not a loud one. As soon as the video loads. Any day
Sir,
now.
the store is closing. Please leave.
Can I stay a little longer? We don't have this much honey at home.
I chose one that didn't have bad words.
It's the company rules, sir. You have to go. I'm sorry.
Just a little bit. I get stung by the bees when I try to get honey at home.
Give me a sec. Sir, I can't kick him out. He's so cute. Can't we just, like, let him stay here, be a mascot? I don't know.
I don't care if he's baby Jesus. That guy's coming out of my store right now. Let me get to him. All right, Bucko, this is your last warning. You better get out of the store or I'll kick you out.
Please, sir, I'll give you a small smackerel of money if you let me stay a few minutes.
Wait, that's not money. That's a button.
This is all the money I have, sir. If you need more buttons, I promise to have more at a later date.
I can't do it. You own the store now. It's yours.
Oh, bother. I don't know
I can't do it. You own the store now.
how to run a business. Oh.
I remember seeing this, some time ago. It's like the start of like Doobas Goobas' whole Winnie the Pooh thing. Let's see. No extra videos as of yet. I love Winnie the Pooh episodes. They funny. Okay, what am I looking at with this?
This is your daily dose of cats.
Hey guys, I just wanted to show off how unique my cat is because as you can see he's black and white but has orange paws. He put his paws into spaghetti yesterday.
Oh shit. Ah. He's got orange paws because he put his paws in the spaghetti.
He's mad at you.
Hey!
Okay, that cat was ready to throw hands at any given moment. Understandable.
Who are you? You want pets? Okay. I know I'm holding a lot of.
What are you doing? What? No! Maximus!
I don't think this is going to go. Oh, hey, we got a classic burner stove as opposed to the freaking ones that I don't like.
You need to go in the other room and get yourself something to eat. What are you doing? Come on.
Show me your skills. I know you can open it. Just open it. Oh! Use your fingers. You guys saw that? Yo, Tiger, you're so cool.
Cats don't have fingers. They have beans. They have little toe beans. They don't have fingers. They just have toe beans.
Cool. Tiger, you're so cool.
That is a fluffy cat.
All right, people, I think it is time for a loaf check.
Ah, the classic loaf check on the cat. All right. Okay. How loafed up is this cat? How loafed up is this cat? Also, I'm going to quickly do a little thing. Hopefully it works. I think that's about as good as I'm going to get with this.
Oh my goodness, we've got no tail, not a single paw visible. I think that's a 10 out of 10 loaf.
Not quite. Not quite. I'd say it's a 9 out of 10 for one key reason. The head is still visible. And you can't tell me that the cat cannot be fluffy enough for the head to not be visible. I've seen some cats loaf up and they look just like a big ball of fur.
I'm gonna get you out, okay?
Hi, sweetheart.
Oh!
You're a kitten.
There we go.
No, no.
Little guy wanted to go for a ride.
Max, stop. Don't. Please, come on. Why are you so mad? Mackie, come on. Don't.
That's a good cat. Treats. He wants treats. Ah, I see. He's getting his reps in.
Oh,
little dude was getting his reps in. You know, he's got to put up. He's trying to get them biceps going. You know. He's got to impress all the girls. You know. He's got to be impressive, you know. You got to have them muscles, them strong muscles to impress all the. Nope, I cannot say the next line that popped into my head. I cannot say the next thing that popped into my head, but I'll say this one much. He wanted to attract all of the female cats.
Thanks. Come on in.
And Gigi, hello Gigi, thanks for stealing all of my belongings.
Come in the house.
That is a sugar-coated cat right there.
Here hard at work, and these two in here like this. Really? Really?
Oh, he wet.
You're gonna hurt yourself.
Itself. You might have to add a bit of flour until the dough is easier to work with.
Oh, little jelly bean. Little fuzzy jelly bean. I think it shows a lack of responsibility when a parent runs from their own kitten. Hi.
Here he is.
Wow, that one got some ears. Would you like to do some uppies sometime? Sure, we can do some funny uppie strat. I'm down for that. Small bean. Look at them ears. You got bat ears. He also looked like this little guy. Also looked like he stuck his tail in an outlet and just like freaking. Just.
Here he is.
That little guy looks wired. Stab as a cat. That would make sense. This little one right here, though, he is so sweet. He's so eepy. He's so eepy. And then he just go just out. Just gone out like a light bulb. I get the feeling that this little guy is not appreciative of his situation. Forget knowing the sound of a can opening. That cat knows what that specific drawer sounds like. Oh. Hello.
Yeah, it was a good birthday. Do the things you like on your birthday.
We're gonna have to sell your feet pictures.
I like this. Just the just tapping the bell. Just like, where's the food? I'm sorry, is that a chicken on a... All right. All right. Little dude ready to throw down. Buddy, I think you need to work on that. Gyroscopic chicken heads. When you think you're tough until you think you're tough until you know, most would think that's horrible, but the thing is the yolk is just a mass amount of protein.
Morning, baby.
Don't hit him with that stick.
Why did you turn your back on it, kid?
He ain't gonna hurt you.
He ain't gonna hurt you, he said. Oh, that's just mean.
Ow!
I need an egg. Thank you.
All right. On demand. Hey, I need an egg. Well, all right. that second to last one was pretty good. Just the I need an egg. Thank you. This guy's funny.
Scientists.
I say unfortunately because I can't react to them really on stream because I've seen them. But I do enjoy this dude's videos. They're funny. Like, for example, this one right here is just, I've known what this fish is for a long while, and seeing him do a video on this fish is crazy. This looks horrific, but the thing is, that fish does not even know it's being eaten. That fish doesn't realize it's being eaten, and this thing immediately hates the fact that it just took a bite out of this guy because it tastes awful.
This is the world's most useless fish.
You stupid.
They're not.
Yeah, mate, that aquatic pancake is a mola. Found wasting its life in oceans around the world, and a contender for the most dog shit fish build in the 7 seas. You see, these things...
It's like, it looked like that's a Pokemon. It's not. Listen, if this thing was a Pokemon, it would be a water type and have nothing going for it. Its defense would be mid. Its speed would be mid. Its special attack would be non-existent. Its attack would be mid. Its HP would be mid. Literally everything about this thing is mid. That is what I'm not even gonna bother with that. What is that name? No.
Huge.
That thing is pretty big though. That's about the only thing it's
measuring
got going for it.
at 4 meters from fin to fin, and absolutely atomizing the scales at 2,300 kilos.
It's a big fish, to say the least. It's a big fish. One downside, you can't eat it because it's host to way too many parasites, and the meat on this thing apparently tastes terrible.
Putting it firmly in the same weight class as a fucking F-150. There is, however, a problem with that size. That is all it's good at. It spent every available stat point on being a giant floating satellite dish at the cost of spending its life as a useless fucking punching bag. To start with, the thing can't even swim properly.
What is that video that he used?
Start with, the thing can't even swim.
What?
Swim properly.
What is that?
Their fins, specifically their tail, is tiny compared to the rest of their body.
This image of this dude just totally jacked upper half. Tiny legs. Bro, why did you skip leg day? You don't skip leg day, bro.
Which makes them so shit at maneuvering, the only thing they can eat is jellyfish and plankton because those don't dodge.
The fact that it can eat jellyfish is kind of crazy.
Speaking of food, you may have noticed that in all of these photos, its mouth is open. That's because it doesn't close. God has cursed the thing to permanently pog. Oh, but evolution is not done f***ing the sunfish yet. Because funnily enough, being the size of the average American meal, well...
I can't say anything on that because... I mean... Yeah.
While having the defensive capabilities of a Tickle Me Elmo, makes these things perfect targets for predators. Most of the time, animals just take f***ing bites out of them, realize they taste like shit, and then
I don't know why. The clip of the cat smelling yogurt and then hacking is so funny to me. I don't know why, but that cat just going is so funny to me.
swim off, leaving a hole in their head, which somehow doesn't kill them.
Do you have any ibuprofen? I got a headache.
Do you have any ibuprofen?
That disgusting flavour is probably due to the 50 f***ing parasite species living on its body, but flavour doesn't matter to sea lions, who will rip...
See, the sea lion just
disgusting flavour is probably due to the 50 f***ing parasite species living on its body, but flavour doesn't matter to sea lions.
Sea lions are just like, they are such odd creatures. They are they are one of the strangest little creatures in the ocean. They're water dogs is what they are in essence, but they have such a playful personality.
Who will rip their fucking fins off and play frisbee with them. And if you thought it couldn't get any worse, they will often swim to the surface to warm themselves up and let birds eat the parasites off of them, where they are promptly hit by a boat. Their only saving grace...
It's like they surface up, lay flat, and let birds eat the parasites off of them. And then they get hit by boats because they are flipping massive.
Is that they don't process pain because their brain is the size of a testicle. They are blissfully unaware that they spend their entire fucking life getting jumped. Like that.
When you're too stupid to realize you're in pain is a next level of existence. But, I mean, can you call it a bad build? Because it's still around today. Like, it still exists. It procreates somehow. It doesn't feel pain. And most things that take a nibble out of it disdain the creature's existence to such a degree that it is a generational disdainment for that creature. So for the most part, despite the fact that it often through a lot of points in its life gets maybe one or two giant chunks of its body chewed out, that's about all it's going to experience, because once something tastes it, it's like, that's the one thing you don't eat. Oh, this one's sad. Hey, Chimpkin. You present? Hop in the chat if you can. This is going to be fun. Because I've seen this, and I think you'll cry. Hi, Chipkin.
Hi.
This will probably make you cry. Let me know when you've got the stream up. The Discord stream up.
Oh, Discord stream. What about... Oh, the Discord stream. Okay.
This monkey, this pig, this...
So, do you want to be sad?
You can't make me cry.
All right. See the image of this little monkey with a little monkey doll?
Yes.
All right. Observe. I made a meme and sent it to you, Astral. Hang on. Yeah, that's Blossom. That's very you, Blossom. Oh, Blossom, do you want to... Oh, wait, no, you're probably still watching One Piece with Goodish, right? Is that what you're doing? You're still watching One Piece with that loser?
Awesome. You want to cry?
I think she just jumped in and then absconded. Now I am waiting to watch Imura with Chuzzy because Goodish fell asleep. Well, hop in here really quick while you're waiting on a response. I want you to be sad too. Though to be fair, Blossom is sadistic and will probably laugh at the misery of this poor creature. I'm chatting with Shindo. Listen, I don't ask for much. I just ask that you abandon your boyfriend to entertain me. It's a very simple concept. All right. Let's get started, Jimkin. You think you won't be sad?
Yeah.
Okay.
This monkey is getting bullied. But why?
Why you bullying me?
Well, you see, this is Punch, a Japanese macaque whose mother, immediately after giving birth to him, went out for milk and cigarettes. So already not off to a great start in life. And
So, how are we so far?
It happens.
What?
It's just how, I mean, it does happen. That's just how nature be.
Not usually with macaques.
And things would not be getting easier for Punch. You see, he was born in captivity at Japan's Ichikawa Zoo, which meant that he was then introduced to the rest of the macaque population alone. No parents, no friends, nothing. But surely, it's all up from here. He might be alone now, but at least he can start making friends with his fellow primates. Right?
That picture is so good. He can start making
with his
friends
fellow
with his fellow primates.
Oh no!
Just that orangutan chasing down a child with the freaking bike.
Primates. Right? Yeah, unfortunately, macaques treat the new kid in school about as well as Family Guy treats Meg. These guys have a very complex social hierarchy, and not unlike high school, it is enforced with bullying. So far, Punch has been smacked, dragged, and bitten, basically to tell him that he can't sit with them at their lunch table. And the bullying he cops is made worse by the fact there's no one to protect him because his mum, you know. And then after jumping him, they won't even let him get a fucking hug. Now, faced with such adversity, a lesser monkey would crumble and try to leave. But making the story infinitely sadder.
Here's the part that I think is going to get you. So, it's pretty sad so far, ain't it, Chipkin?
Yeah.
Uh-huh. But here's the part that will make you cry.
Punch runs off to the closest thing to family he has. A plush orangutan gifted to him by the zookeepers to try and replace his mum. When stressed, he hugs it and tries to get it to hug him back. No, I'm not fucking crying. Someone's cutting onions in here.
She's actually pretty good at that.
However,
Wow.
Yeah,
That is sad.
when the monkey is sad, it runs to a monkey plushie, hugs it, and tries to get it to hug him back because he doesn't have a mom to hug him.
Well, heck.
Despite
That
the
is
absolutely horrendous character development he's gone through, Punch has finally managed to start making some friends. Which is good, because for a monkey, he got off light. Had he been born a chimp, when they don't like one another, they rip each other's testicles off with their fucking teeth.
Oh.
This monkey...
Yeah, chimps are awful.
Yeah. They do be awful creatures.
I do like a lot of this guy's videos. He's got some very fun ones. Just these little animal facts that are quite intriguing.
I like to watch Z Frank for animal facts. Funny
What?
animal facts. Z Frank. I like to watch him for funny animal documentaries.
You see, I hear that you're saying a name, but you're speaking it so softly that I cannot understand what you're saying.
We'll type it in DMs.
You need to get a better microphone, Jimkin.
I don't have money.
I know a microphone that is like $70.
I don't have that.
That's not a lot for a good quality mic. That's pretty solid.
I don't have money.
How do you eat?
I live with my family.
Mm,
I am a stay-at-home caretaker
I
for my
see.
mom.
Not a hoe, don't eh? All right, let's see. Well, I think I will wrap it up there. But and ending it a little bit
Okay.
earlier than what I would expect.
Okie dokie.
By the way, have you been enjoying the daily doodles?
I have. They're adorable.
Gresha full palming that one guy.
And his eyes are just bulging.
You just
out
hear a
between her
squeaky toy noise.
fingers.
The muffled screams of pain as Gresha just like full palms just Gresha just grabs his head and is just like, go to sleep. Go to sleep.
Go to sleep. Go to sleep.
Have you seen that meme of the one guy? Is your baby crying? I can help.
I haven't seen it.
You haven't seen that?
No.
Hang on. I think it's one of the funniest things. So this guy did this bit right here, and it became a reoccurring meme. But he does this, and I just think it's so funny.
Baby crying. I'll make them stop. Go to sleep, go to sleep, go sleep, little pig. Go to sleep, go to sleep.
It also works on adults.
I got time for you.
Now there's more to it, but that's the main part of it, where he's just like the last part where it's just like goo goo gaga time for you. And that I just imagine that's just Gresha just like full grabbing that guy's face, just you just see Gresha. Let's see if I can find the image. You just see this, and you just hear.
I'll make them stop. Go to sleep, go to sleep, go sleep, little pig.
Grabbing
Go to
his
sleep,
face, and
go
he
to
screams in pain.
I got time for you.
Just, I love this picture so much. It's so funny to me.
And
I
that,
laugh
the angle
way
of that
too
leg.
hard at this image. Just go to sleep.
He's
Go to
bending.
sleep.
Leg is definitely broken and dislocated.
Don't worry, he wasn't using it.
Well, he won't be anymore. He won't need it.
Just, just Gresha just full grabbing his head. Just only dreams now. I love Stab just in the back. Just it's like, do you think our cover was blown? Probably, but we can still beat these thieves up for fun. Meanwhile, in the back. I've been having fun with this one. I don't know which of this saga has been the best because we have like the main because we have like the main panels that go up each time. If I had the right people, I would do a comic dub of it, but I don't have a voice actor that I don't know of a voice actor in our group that could do a voice for Gresha. I have a very particular voice I have in mind for Gresha, but none of my friends have that type of voice.
Is it like deep and throaty?
Kind of. Wish I could.
Kind of like a chain smoker voice.
No. It's more butch, I suppose.
Oh, okay.
Like this one, I didn't expect it to go in this direction when I started this, but I started this just being like, I'm going to just do a nice, cute little thing of them on a date. And then I did this one, and I was like, this is going somewhere.
The intrusive thoughts won.
You just see off of you just have lovely music, the harmony of nature, and then just zoom into the corner. Just stab poking his little head over. And then the reveal of just they've been beating up thieves because they were just like, you guys aren't going to be stealing anything from these two while they're on their date.
Yeah.
Gresha in particular just not having any sense of restraint.
He protects, but she also attacks.
Just crack. And then you just have hey, cover his mouth when you break his legs. Sorry, he keeps moving too much. And just these two, they're trying to have a moment, but they're just like, I love Holly's little dress. I think she's got a cute little dress.
She does. She's so cute.
And then you got Luke all spiffed up with like I don't know what that thing is called. I've seen it before, but I thought that would be a fun little thing to give for him instead of like a tie or a bow tie.
Yes. Little ruffles look cute.
And then just you almost feel bad for the poor guy. It's like, yeah, he tried to rob them, but he made the mistake of trying to rob them.
It looks like Goodish, it's fine.
Nothing like watching Goodish get molly-whopped. This one is, even though it's not the most impactful in terms of like scene, compositionally, I was so happy with how I managed to get this to go. It is just a little doodle sketch, but I'm actually happy with how the composition turned out.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what I'll be doing tonight for tomorrow's doodle, but
if you ever want to borrow Kazu for any of your doodles, make him look stupid or silly, go for it.
I might do one with Kazu for fun, but it all depends.
Whenever you feel like it.
It all depends on what the theme of the day will be.
Yeah. He's just a soft boy.
Lizard. All right. I feel like it's been a bit since I've raided her, but maybe it hasn't been. We're gonna raid Silent Bell if she is available.
Okay. I was gonna go annoy Laurie.
Yeah, you go ahead, go annoy Laurie. All right. I will catch y'all later. Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye-bye.